The price of fame, social media, how the dream machine turns attention into identity, income, and instability. What if the machine keeping you comfortable was also the machine keeping you asleep? What if it monitored your needs, regulated your emotions, entertained your imagination, and slowly convinced you that waking up was dangerous? I randomly turned on the 1998 animated Silver Surfer season 1 episode 7 titled Inner Visions. It felt like an old cartoon, but more like a warning sent forward through time. In the episode, Silver Surfer discovers that Thanos is destroying worlds and moving toward a planet called Harmony. When Silver Surfer arrives, the people are not preparing to defend themselves. They're not even fully aware that they're in danger. The citizens of Harmony are living inside a perpetual dream. Their physical bodies are maintained by technology while their minds remain somewhere else. Silver Surfer tries to warn them, but how do you warn people about reality when reality is the one place they no longer want to visit? When he temporarily disconnected their system, the people awaken in distress. Reality feels harsh. Their bodies feel uncomfortable. Their minds are overwhelmed by a world they have been protected from experiencing. And I thought to myself, we did not build harmony on another planet. We built it right here. The dream machine is no longer attached to the wrist, it is sitting in the palm of our hand. Part one. The machine does not need to imprison you. Social media does not need to physically lock the door. It only needs to make everything outside the door feel boring. It does not have to force you to remain inside. It can simply make silence feel unbearable, ordinary life feel inadequate, and your own thoughts feel insufficiently entertaining. That is a much more efficient prison. A physical prison requires walls, guards, and locks. A psychological prison merely requires that a person become uncomfortable whenever they are alone with themselves. Social media can be useful. It can connect isolated people, expose us to educational material, help marginalized people find community, introduce customers to small businesses, and allow ideas to reach people who would never encounter them otherwise. The machine itself is not automatically evil. The machine is indifferent. It will help you build a community or help you destroy your peace of mind. It will introduce you to a financial education or introduce you to a fake millionaire selling a course called How to Become a Millionaire by selling courses about becoming a millionaire. The machine does not care at all. It responds to engagement, and engagement is not the same thing as well being. Problematic social media use is not merely spending several hours online. It involves losing control, neglecting other activities, experiencing withdrawal when disconnected, and continuing to use the platform despite the negative consequences that you may already have experienced, currently experiencing, people around you may have experienced it. A World Health Organization study involving nearly 280,000 adolescents across 44 countries and regions found that 11% showed signs of problematic social media behavior. The organization also connected problematic use with reduced well being, less sleep, later bedtimes, and negative consequences in daily life. The U.S. Surgeon General has reported that children and adolescents spending more than 3 hours per day on social media face roughly twice the risk of certain mental health problems, including symptoms of anxiety and depression. The advisory also acknowledges that researchers still do not fully understand every effect or how those effects differ between individuals. That distinction matters. This is not an argument that everyone who uses social media will become depressed, misinformed, or addicted. It's not an argument at all. This is a message that a tool capable of influencing attention, identity, sleep, spending, relationships, and emotional regulation deserves more respect than we currently give it. You would not hand someone an unidentified chemical and say, just consume responsibly. Yet we regularly enter digital environments without knowing what they are doing to our behavior. Part two, the audience member dream. There are at least two major ways to enter the social media dream. The first is as an audience member. And keep in mind, I have a playlist for videos specifically focusing on aspects of social media, psychology, personal experiences, news reports, future warnings, and all of that rap music. A person discovers a creator whose personality, humor, appearance, politics, lifestyle, or personal story feels familiar. Over time, watching that person becomes part of the viewer's routine. The viewers knows the creator's favorite food. They know the creator's relationship history. They know what the creator bought, where they travel, what made them cry, and which family member they are no longer speaking to. The creator, meanwhile, may know the viewer only as a number inside an analytics board. That does not mean the audience member is foolish. It means the human attachment systems were built long before live streams, comment sections, and daily vlogs. Repeated access can imitate intimacy. Researchers call these one-sided emotional connections parasocial relationships. Such relationships can produce benefits, education, companionship, reduce stigma, and exposure to positive behavior, but they can also encourage unhealthy comparison, over-identification, and emotional dependence. The relationship is psychologically real even when it is structurally unequal. The audience knows the creator as a biography. The creator knows the audience as a demographic. That difference becomes dangerous when support turns into ownership. Some audience members begin believing that because they watch someone for 5 years, they're entitled to 5 years of control over that person. A creator changes an opinion, enters a relationship, gains weight, loses weight, earns money, stops discussing a topic, or sets a boundary, and suddenly the audience feels betrayed, not disappointed, betrayed. That connects to homogeneous and ethnocentric environments that I mentioned in the previous video like a day ago. Not disappointed, betrayed, because entertainment quietly became emotional property. This is how a digital community can become a digital nation state. There are borders, enemies, loyalty tests, and citizens ready to defend a leader who does not know their names. And when disagreement feels like treason, critical thinking has already packed its bags and left town. And the wild part of all of that is whenever I find myself reading any type of literature that references past events, it's very alarming how similar that description of what the actions of the people were. If you just removed it from that era and just put the actions on a board, it would actually connect with people now, people in the 90s, people in the 2000s. It's just technology gives us a new stage. Like right now, the stage is technology where all of this stuff is taking place. But before that, it used to be in the streets, even though it's still in the streets. But now a lot of it originates online or starts on the streets and they take it online. Part 3, the creator's dream. The second way to enter the dream is as a creator. Been there, done that, will never do it again. Imagine living an ordinary life and suddenly receiving a level of validation you have never experienced before. Thousands of people laugh at your jokes. They compliment your appearance. They repeat your sayings. They defend you against criticism. They ask for your advice. They tell you what saved their life. The amount of attention can feel like love, purpose, community, and evidence that you finally matter. But attention is powerful precisely because it can resemble all four without necessarily being any of them. For me, having social medias that was viral 2006, it was very confusing because before that, I was always a medium known person. I wasn't lame, but I wasn't hyper popular. But it's like probably if you any given school I went to, 60% of the people, if you showed them a picture of me, they would say, yeah, they knew me, or yeah, they had a conversation with me, or yeah, they had a class with me. Once YouTube blew up, that trickled down to people adding me on Facebook, MySpace, all of this other stuff. People in the school hallways before I graduated. I didn't graduate in 2006. I graduated later. But in the hallways would call me by my YouTube name. Then that I killed that a few years later. But then as an adult, when tweets would go viral, people would be calling me my Twitter name in public. And it's like I never really liked that. I didn't dislike it because I knew exactly where it came from, but it wasn't a feeling that made me feel like how some people thrive off of that and they want more of it. For me, I was just happy when it died down, if anything. But a creator can begin by sharing their life. Eventually, they may start living their life primarily so that it can be shared. The camera stops documenting the experience and begins directing it. Vacations are selected for photographs. Relationships are evaluated for content potential. Private disagreements become episodes. Grief becomes a thumbnail. Children become supporting cast members in a production they were too young to consent to joining. A creator may gradually construct a persona that audiences reward more generously than the creator's actual personality. That is when performance debt begins. Financial debt means borrowing money from the future. Performance debt means borrowing authenticity from the future. Early exaggeration becomes another payment. Every lie requires maintenance. Every luxury purchase creates pressure to produce another luxury purchase. Every public declaration becomes a cage when the person privately changes their mind. The online persona becomes the company's chief executive officer. The actual human being becomes an unpaid intern. This can become especially painful when something from real life disrupts the character. A former friend speaks, a relationship ends, a financial document becomes public, an old post resurfaces, a lawsuit is filed, a customer complains, a family member presents a different version of events. The audience is shocked, but often because the creator committed some unimaginable act. The audience is shocked because reality interrupted the show. The person did not merely fall from grace, they fell out of character. And the larger distance between the character and the human being, the longer the fall. Sometimes it happens in real time, and people who supporters of the person doing it don't even realize that the person is having a crash out. Because as long as they felt like, I know this with people, as long as they feel like they have control of the narrative and the majority is not falling for whatever stories come out about them, they pretend to be unbothered. They barely reference the accusations, or they may even never reference the accusations. But when somebody hit a home run with receipts and all types of other things, and the perspective starts to shift to a side they never seen before, that's when they start losing it and doing all kind of things to try to, I don't know, you know, I wouldn't know. I don't. Part four, everyday people can now experience the price of fame. Historically, the psychological consequences of fame were concentrated among celebrities, politicians, professional athletes, and entertainers. They built brands around wealth, beauty, strength, moral perfection, or success. Some spent extraordinary amounts of money maintaining those images. The mansion had to remain visible. The jewelry had to become larger. The vacations had to become more exclusive. The entourage had to remain employed. The lifestyle became a theater production, and every month required a larger budget. Eventually, the image consumed the income meant to support it. Then came the lawsuits, the tax problems, the bankruptcy, the repossessions, the failed businesses, the public humiliation, the uncomfortable interviews where someone attempts to explain how a person who earned millions of dollars has $37, three storage units, and an exotic bird the bankruptcy court cannot locate. That was the traditional price of fame. Social media democratized the audience without democratizing the emotional preparation required to survive one. Today, an everyday person can wake up with 400 followers and go to sleep with 400,000. The attention may come from talent, it may come from beauty, tragedy, embarrassment, from being filmed during the worst 30 seconds of their life. The person receives fame before developing the boundaries, financial knowledge, legal awareness, emotional regulation, or professional infrastructure necessary to manage it. And baby, for y'all, please, I'll be trying to put it in as many videos as possible, but please get legal awareness when it pertains to social media. A lot of things that people do, especially for content creators, baby, y'all are playing with fire in front of a propane tank that's tilted over. Like seriously, it's like it's not even a matter of if no more, is when. Like if the wrong person see y'all stuff, especially when y'all talking about certain people, baby, them people gonna eat y'all alive. I'm just here to tell you. That's why I love the fact that my content is more so focused on my own self and also the growth of people as humans in general, because them hot topics gonna have your ass on fire. Anyways, virality is a weather event. It is not a climate. A viral moment is closer to a flash flood than a permanent river. It arrives quickly, changes the landscape, and disappears before people have finished building businesses beside it. But human beings are excellent at converting temporary conditions into permanent expenses. One profitable month becomes a new apartment. One sponsorship becomes a new vehicle. One viral series becomes a resignation letter. One wave of attention becomes proof that the ocean will never recede. Then the tide changes, because social media is not simply a trend. It is an industry built out of trends. The platforms change, the formats change, the preferred video link changes, the popular language changes, algorithm, audience, advertiser. The joke that gained 10 million views in March may appear painfully outdated by October. The algorithm does not marry you. It auditions you every morning. The financial instability of creator income. Creator income can be real. It can also be dangerously inconsistent. A creator may earn money through advertisements, sponsorships, subscriptions, affiliate links, gifts. Oh, I say live grifts. Probably never mind. Anyways, merchandise, consulting, appearance, or product sales, but each income source has its own vulnerabilities. Advertising revenue changes with audience location, subject matter, season, advertiser demand, and platform policy. Brand deals can disappear when the economy slows or when the creator reputation changes. Affiliate income falls when products lose popularity. A platform may reduce distribution without providing a meaningful explanation. An account can be suspended, a payment can be delayed, a sponsorship can be canceled after the creator already spent money producing the campaign. A recent economic preprint using Patreon earnings data found evidence of highly concentrated creator income, with platform attention disproportionately favoring top earners while weakening the creator middle class. The researchers caution that their Patreon derived data represents only one part of creators' total earnings, but the findings still illustrate the unequal, winner heavy nature of algorithmic markets, the Hunger Games. The danger is not merely earning inconsistent money. The danger is building a consistent lifestyle around inconsistent money. A salary worker generally knows approximately what will arrive on payday. A creator may earn 20,000 one month and 2,000 the next, but the mortgage does not understand shadow bans. The car note does not care that the algorithm change. Health insurance does not accept exposure. And the Internal Revenue Service has never allowed anyone to pay taxes with engagement. Creator income should therefore be treated more like business revenue than a permanent salary. That means maintain a larger emergency reserve, save for taxes before spending the income, avoid increasing fixed expenses based on unusually profitable season, build retirement savings, keep appropriate insurance, maintain marketable skills outside the platform, diversify revenue without turning every moment of life into a sales opportunity. Most importantly, calculate your financial decisions using your income floor, not using your most exciting month. Your highest month tells you what is possible. Your lowest ordinary month tells you what is sustainable. A creator should also build an audience they can reach without begging an algorithm for permission. That could include an email list, website, membership community, podcast feed, customer database, or direct product. Followers or rented attention. Contact information voluntarily provided to your own business is closer to owned infrastructure. Build something the algorithm cannot evict you from. Part 6. Social media can build a business and help destroy one. Social media has allowed small businesses to reach customers without purchasing television commercials, newspaper advertisements, or expensive billboards. A talented baker can display a cake to thousands of potential customers. A mechanic can demonstrate expertise. A local restaurant can announce a special. An author can build a readership. A consultant can explain a complicated service. A small business can appear much larger than its physical location. That is the gift. The danger begins when the business confuses visibility with stability. A viral video can create demand, but only operations can convert that demand into trust. What happens when 50,000 people want a product that the business can produce only 500 times? What happens when customer service messages go unanswered? What happens when shipping takes 6 weeks? What happens when quality fails because the owner rushed to satisfy an audience that may lose interest next month? Virality can grow a business faster than the business can grow. Why did it disappear? That's funny. Oh, there we go. Because the big one was freezing, so I just shrunk it. The big view. Then the blessings arrive like a dress lawsuit. The Small Business Administration emphasizes that marketing requires planning, budgeting, defined customers, competitive advantages, sales methods, and measurable goals. Social media may be one channel in that plan, but it is not a substitute for the plan itself. A business becomes vulnerable when its only customer pipeline is one platform. It has followers, but no customer records. It tracks views, but not conversions. It tracks sales, but not profit margins. It borrows money based on viral attention. It spends heavily on aesthetics while neglecting fulfillment. The owner's personality and the company become indistinguishable. One controversial post can damage the entire operation. A personal argument can become a customer boycott. A public complaint can expose poor systems. An influencer promotion can create legal and reputational problems when sponsorship claims or reviews are misleading. The Federal Trade Commission requires influencers and businesses to clearly disclose material relationships and prohibits deceptive endorsements, reviews, and testimonials. And you see a lot of those online, even though it's illegal. A follower account is not accounts receivable. A million views do not automatically equal a million customers. A lot of music artists are showing y'all that now too. These music artists with hundreds of millions of followers on social media, but their album not going over 10,000, 5,000, 20,000. That's a shame. Businesses need websites, email lists, customer service procedures, bookkeeping, quality control, backup suppliers, emergency communication plans, and products that remain useful after the trend has moved on. Social media should amplify a business. It should not be the ground beneath the building. And this connects to my constant point mentioned in videos of pivoting. Pivoting power is very important. You don't hear about it because many people are one flow bros. They don't really, they good at what they do. And then if that slow down, they stuck. You have to be able to pivot. Just like with celebrities, a lot of the highest paid celebrities we know are in multiple categories: musician, actor, philanthropist, all of this other stuff. Chapter 7. Whenever the computer ready. Oh, that was me. The misinformation machine. The people of Harmony were not simply asleep. They were receiving a manufactured version of reality. That is another reason the episode resembles social media. On social platforms, truth and falsehood often enter the feed wearing the same clothes, the same camera angle, confident voice, dramatic music, captions, blue check mark. A licensed professional and a confident stranger can appear one swipe apart. And confidence is regularly mistaken for competence. Many Americans now receive news through Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. At the same time, 4 in 10 social media news consumers surveyed by Pew Research Center identified inaccuracy as what they disliked most about getting news that way. Misinformation can influence decisions involving health treatments, medication, nutrition, investments, employment, voting, relationships, travel, insurance, legal disputes, natural disasters. A person can reject legitimate medical care because someone with the ring light said hospitals are hiding a secret. They can invest their savings in an imaginary opportunity because comments underneath the video appear enthusiastic. Even though bots are real, bot forms are real as well. They can abandon a relationship because an online personality diagnosed their partner with 6 personality disorders after hearing one sentence. They can misunderstand a flaw, miss a deadline, or sign a damaging contract because a creator said, "Trust me, I researched this." And by research, they sometimes mean they watched another video recorded by someone who watched a third video produced by a man selling powdered mushrooms from the trunk of a Dodge Charger. Misinformation becomes especially powerful when it confirms what someone already wants to believe. Human beings do not evaluate every claim like impartial judges. We are often defense attorneys for our own existing beliefs. Confirmation bias. When the information comforts our identity, flatters our group, or validates our anger, we lower the drawbridge. Even after false information is corrected, it can continue influencing thoughts because the original claim has already been integrated into someone's understanding of events. Researchers describe this as the continued influence effect. Social media fatigue can also make users more vulnerable. A tired mind does not carefully evaluate every source. It uses shortcuts. Familiar means true. Popular means credible. Emotional means important. Repeated means verified. But repetition is not evidence. It is merely an echo wearing different usernames. Critical thinking does not mean distrusting everything. That is cynicism. Critical thinking means applying consistent standards before accepting something. But what I find when you are commenting on something that does not align with someone's fixed belief that whatever tribe that influences their thinking has on them, they will see that as cynicism, even if it's actual factual and it's going against their belief that may be misinformation. But this is why people, for me personally, I will forever let people do them. As long as seniors and children and women not being harmed and whatever doing them is, and I have say so, okay, I'll say something about that. But when it comes to people living their life in the wild, baby, people are going to do them, and people don't have communication to connect. Because for me, when I connect with people, I love people I don't understand, because that means I'm gonna learn about them. I'm gonna let them speak. I'm gonna listen to their perspective. I'm gonna share my initial thoughts and let them clarify what the actual factual is. And it's going to be a peaceful, sometimes funny conversation. However, when it comes to people in the wild and on the wild social media, anything that does not agree with them, if it is not a yes queen or a yes king, baby, it is an act of war with these people. And I will not waste my energy on that, because for me, the type of battles I fight, people wouldn't even see daylight if they even had an inch of what I had to deal with. So I don't even play with the penny any back and forward, all of that stuff, baby. That's people projecting their misery, because a person who's not miserable is not going to just be dry arguing, beefing, clapping back, insulting, and going ham on people if something is a different view. Especially if you don't know the person, you don't know what type of manner this person is saying these words. You don't even know if they really mean what they're saying. A lot of people don't know how to pick up satire and sarcasm, which is alarming, because why be a part of every conversation if you don't even understand the different parts that we learned in English? Because when you see stuff, you're taking things literal, and it's a metaphor or it's a simile or it's an allegory. Like, baby, ain't nobody about to have no tutoring. They have free tutoring at the local libraries. They also have all kind of other stuff at the local libraries and all of that. So yeah, like, you just have to let people do them. So when people, if it's not a fruitful conversation, or I'm not mentoring someone, I have no reason to be discussing people in their life with them at all. Like, there's literal all types of professionals out there, and I'm not a professional. Critical thinking means applying consistent standards before accepting something. Ask who originally made this claim. What evidence would prove it wrong? Is the source qualified to speak on this subject? Can I locate a primary document, official report, or original study? Is someone using fear or urgency to prevent me from verifying the information? Does the financially does the person financially benefit if I believe them? Am I accepting this because it is true, or because it feels emotionally satisfying? And a lot of times too, people don't accept the fact that they may be wrong or that they were misled, because that would make them have to feel like they made a bad choice, because they have shame when it comes to them making mistakes. So a person who has mistake shame is more likely going to run from whatever correction is around, because accepting the correction, no matter how helpful the correction is, will also mean accepting that mistake. And that's just until pain that they never dealt with, or they cope in negative ways, so they consider that dealing with it. Anyways, a 2026 systematic review found that media literacy and active learning programs can improve critical thinking abilities in the face of misinformation. Although researchers continue studying methods work best across different populations, critical thinking is not a personality trait bestowed upon the chosen few. It is a practice behavior. Truth does not fear a second browser tab. Part 8. Scammers do not begin by hacking technology. Most scammers do not begin by hacking the computer. They begin by hacking emotion. They create urgency, fear, greed, romance, loneliness, authority, scarcity, embarrassment. They tell you the opportunity will disappear if you verify it. They tell you not to speak to your bank. They impersonate a government agency. They offer a job that requires you to pay before working. They promise extraordinary investment returns. They pretend to be a friend whose account was stolen. They send a message from a familiar profile, but the familiar profile was already compromised. They may ask you to post a promotional video, send a verification code, or change the email address connected to your account. Once they enter the social media account, they search for the connected email. If the passwords were reused, They tried the same credentials elsewhere. Then they used the stolen profile to contact the victim's followers. The trust earned by the original owner becomes inventory for the scammer. The account is not merely stolen. The person's reputation is weaponized. In 2024, consumers reported losing more than $12.5 billion to fraud. According to the Federal Trade Commission, investment scams accounted for 5.7 billion in reported losses. Reported losses involving job and employment agency scams increased from 90 million in 2020 to 501 million in 2024. This is why all that online bickering and stuff is a waste of time, and why I will never participate in it unless I feel like it, but I'm never going to let it consume me or make that my personality. Like, and if I'm saying something, it's probably going to be knowledge, but even then it's not even worth it because I know that people don't listen. But baby, all this fighting people doing when people getting scammed for that much money, all of that money, $12.5 billion could flip a lot of cities, clean up a lot of abandoned neighborhoods, but it's being stolen because people are being taken advantage of. But people are not able to absorb education and positive news and important news because people time is being consumed by all of these distracting things. And then some of the people on these distracting things are not even really what they appear to be there for. They're serving a different purpose, especially on the reality shows. If you know, you know. Critical thinking is one of the strongest personal firewalls against social engineering. Before responding to an unexpected offer, use 4 steps. Slow down. Urgency is frequently used to bypass judgment. A legitimate opportunity can survive 10 minutes of verification. Trace the source. Do not rely on the account contacting you. Search for the organization independently. Examine the exact email address. Check the age and the history of the profile. Look for duplicated photographs or copy language. Open an independent channel. Contact the person, bank, employer, or government agency using a number or website you locate independently. Do not use contact information supplied inside the suspicious message. Protect the keys. Never provide login codes, backup codes, or passwords. Use unique passwords and a reputable password manager. Enable multi-factor authentication. Review active login sessions. And if you activate multi-factor authentication, always update your email and phone number, because when I was working in the medical thing for a second, it was a lot of people. We had to do IT tickets for them because they two-factor authentication was their old phone number. Your email is often the master key to your digital house. Protect it like one. And remember, people with genuine wealth are rarely roaming the internet begging strangers to let them make everyone rich. When a person's business model depends on convincing you that skepticism is negativity, skepticism is probably what you need. Part 9, awareness without a path becomes panic. The solution is not to declare that all technology is evil. That is not awareness. That is fear wearing glasses. And you're going to get tricked out your spot like they did in the 90s. A lot of people, well, not even before the 90s, but that's going to be mentioned either in this video or another video. I wrote it. I just don't remember where I put it at. Awareness without direction can become hypervigilance. It can make someone feel that every creator is manipulative. Every post is false. Every business is collapsing, and every message is a scam. That is not freedom either. The purpose of awareness is not to remain terrified of the machine. The purpose is to understand the machine well enough to choose how you choose it. Not to mention, they have some amazing channels online. There's a channel where a lady visits every 5-star hotel so you don't have to, and she shows you how much she paid, what was it worth, shows you the rooms, the amenities, the ins and outs, like if you dealt with her. There's people who drive road trips around the country and shows you towns that you never heard of and you probably never would have seen in your life if you didn't, because you didn't know it was there. So you able to see the real estate, you see the crime stats, you see the demographics, you see all kinds of stuff. It's a lot of content that could be feeding you. Like all of the other stuff, that hit and miss stuff, updates about people's life, that's like the sugar of social media diet. You can't live just eating sugar all day. I mean, some people do, but you see what it do to them. Use the awake method. Audit the machine, review your screen time, identify which applications consume the most attention. Notice how you feel before and after using them. Track whether social media is helping or interfering with sleep, finances, relationship, fitness, work, and emotional health. Creators should also audit how much of their income depends on a single platform, sponsor, or content format. Business should audit where customers actually come from, not where the largest number of likes come from. W, withdraw in measured intervals. You do not have to throw your phone into a river and begin communicating through trained pigeons. Create practical boundaries. Do not begin and end every day inside the feed. Use scheduled periods without the phone. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Remove applications for the home screen. Eat some meals without recording them. Attend some events that will never become content. A memory does not become less valuable because strangers did not witness it. Anchor your identity offline. Maintain relationships with people who know you without filters, followers, or performance. Develop skills that remain useful when platforms change. Read complete books. I love books. Books are like apples to me. I love apples too. Exercise, volunteer, study, rest, create privately. Build something you do not immediately publish. The self requires room where the audience is not allowed. Keep ownership. Creators should maintain backups of content, financial records, contracts, and audience contact information. Businesses should maintain websites, customer database, bookkeeping, and alternative marketing channels. Users should protect passwords, credit files, personal documents, and recovery methods. Do not let one company become the sole landlord of your identity, income, and memories. Evolve before change forces you. Study new formats without worshiping them. Learn transferable skills. Experiment before your old strategy stops working. Reduce expenses while income is strong. Build new revenue streams before the old one disappears. Adaptation is, and also I have a video coming up too about careers. Again, the bill from the bottom. I got to add to that, just like I'm adding to the price of fame with this one. But yeah, because there's a lot of like, if before I even do the video, you know what your city needs. You can look and see, okay, there's a high population of seniors, so I could start a business for senior services. You can do medical transportation. You can do lawn care for seniors. You could be a specific senior service, and be possibly, if you know a grant writer, you can get grants for that because that you helping out important people in the community. You might can do a veteran program where you do veteran services and get in contact with the VA. Like, it's so much money out there. The money right in front of your face. But what happens is the money that people have, they're giving it away to other people, when you could be helping the people around you and keeping the money insulated within the community. Not to mention, if a lot of cities clean their communities up real good, you could make a killing off of tourism. No pun. Like, for real, a lot of cities really have some beautiful architecture, a lot of history, a lot of nice art and stuff like that. I would actually go to certain cities if they cleaned it up and I didn't feel like I had to have a Glock just to walk on a block. Like, you know. But anyways, adaptation is not evidence that you failed. Adaptation is evidence that you're alive. Every living system changes. The planet changes. The coastline changes. The economy changes. The body changes from birth through old age. A person who demands that a constantly changing world remain permanently familiar has placed a countdown clock on their piece. A lot of people inherited that clock from the people before them. That's why it's family heirloom to be miserable. Wake up without destroying the machine. The citizens of Harmony experienced pain when Silver Surfer disconnected them from the dream. But the pain of awakening did not prove that the dream was healthier. It proved that they had become unaccustomed to reality. That is where many people now find themselves. Silence hurts. Boredom hurts. A post receiving fewer like hurts. A creator taking a break hurts. A business losing visibility hurts. A private life without applause feels invisible. Baby, I love a private life. Even when I was on social media, I still was private. Like, probably 10%, if I'm being generous, would be shared, and 5% was the average. I wasn't sharing anything. And definitely now, like, anything I do it for me, because it's too many years of me sharing things, which I typically share the positive stuff because people are already miserable. I'm not going to add to an already overfilled grocery cart. So I would just share, like, if I went somewhere, if I achieved something. And it's like, even if they tried to be happy, the conversation would be awkward because it would be followed by them saying what's wrong with their life, or them saying, I wish I could do that, which is a pet peeve of mine. Hearing I wish from a grown ass adult, this is not the Make a Wish Foundation. Get your ass up and do it. Like, and that almost give envious vibes, because I don't want anything other people I know have and that bring them joy. I know how to bring my own joy. I am the joy. So word to the theater on Canal Street. But yeah, so it's like, nah, I'm cool on that. I don't get no brownie points for living my own life. And I damn sure don't want to hear about other people what they wish they could do, or they gonna do that one day and all. Like, no, that's slavery talk. Because the people that talk like that, they're not going anywhere because they're not moving. They're literally walking in place. Like, they think they're going up a mountain, but it's really a treadmill. It's not. You're not going anywhere, and that's for them to discover. I can't fix people. I'm not a mechanic. Sometimes discomfort is the nervous system rediscovering a part of life that has not been exercised. Social media can be a tool, or it can make you a fool. It can be a stage, or it can lead you to rage. It can be a classroom. It can be a marketplace. It can be a community, or it could be a anti-community. But it should never become the life support system for your identity. Do not place your entire life essence into something perishable while refusing to understand how it operates, changes, and fails. Do not build permanent expenses around temporary attention. Do not build your identity around an audience that may leave when the trend changes. Do not allow a creator to replace your judgment. Do not allow an algorithm to determine what deserves your emotions. Do not confuse visibility with value. Fame once arrived through movie screens, stadiums, record labels, and television networks. Not to mention, it's gonna come a point where social media is gonna make y'all run from it like it's a building on fire. It's gonna come one day, but then it's gonna drive a wedge in your brain, because you go from using something every day to now you deleted your profile because whatever came out came out. So it's like, please don't be dependent on nothing technology connected and fueled. Like, I love technology, I always have since I was 5, 4, 3 years old. But even I know that, like, all electricity, this stuff survives on electricity. You can't blow on the outlet and it's gonna make the computer come on. So please stop being codependent on things that are electricity fueled. Because yeah, no, it's nah. Just remember, I warned y'all. Well, this channel is just a warning. That's what this channel is, a warning, but giving you tools. Because shame without a direction is just, that's just slavery. Or telling you about the danger without giving you the weapons to defeat the danger is really just panic, keeping you in a constant state of panic, which gonna keep you coming back, because now you're gonna be looking for more from me. That's the way manipulation works. That's why a lot of channels that have panicky news is addictive to people, because it's a psychological thing. But have fun. The greatest danger is not losing followers. It's losing the person you were before you needed them. So use the machine, learn from it, build it, earn it, connect through it, but wake up regularly. Build relationships the algorithm cannot recommend. Build skills the platform cannot demonetize. Build income the trend cannot completely erase. Build a life that still exists when the phone is turned off, because reality may not always applaud you, but reality is where your actual life is waiting. And that is it for this video. Have a good one. Thank you for watching.